everybody. For those of you that don't know me, I'm Kelly Mosty, owner and founder of Kelly Counts Macros, known for my 8-week program, The Shred, and also my membership, The Clubhouse. I take my busy clients from being frustrated, overwhelmed, and not losing weight to losing weight to reveal the tone muscles that they are working so hard on. I like to keep it super simple. I love the acronym KISS. I like to keep everything simple in my life. I know my busy clients do as well. So I want to welcome Kristen. Kristen, who finally stopped the weekend sabotage and is now consistent. She has had jaw-dropping results, and she includes all the fun foods like desserts and pizza, adult drinks. At the check-ins, we would talk through birthdays and social events and parties, including all the yummy foods. And I'll be honest, when I set up this interview with Kristen, I always start to think the same thing. Like, what if she would have told herself, I'm not going to do this right now. I don't have time for this. I don't have money for this. I'm going on vacation. I'm just going to try and do this on my own. And where do you think she would be now? Because all of us get those justifications, going in our brain. She wouldn't have the confidence. She would not have the defined muscles. She would still be frustrated. She would be overwhelmed, no confidence, and, spinning her tires. So completely stuck. But she did sign up for macro counting with me, and her results have been astounding. So I know everybody wants to hear your story. So welcome, Kristen. Thank you for sharing your macro counting story. Tell us a little bit about you.
Well, my name is Kristen Down. I live in Erie. I am from a small town called Duke Center, which I think I see Brandy Mason is watching now this evening. So Brandy, I went to high school with her and her sister. So it's fun to see people from my small town joining the community and the clubhouse. So that's amazing. So I am in Erie now with my husband and 2 boys. My boys are 4.5 and 1.5, and they keep me super duper busy. And there are some days where this, like counting macros and being a part of the clubhouse, has saved me as well, because they, it's hard to find time to do workouts, and so keeping my nutrition in check has been very beneficial for me. So but I'll talk more about that later. But I'm a 2nd grade teacher at Edinboro Elementary. So that's a little bit about me and where I'm from.
Yeah. So you're busy, but you have made the time to do this. Obviously, with 2 young ones, you can feel overwhelmed and frustrated at times. But you did make yourself a priority, realizing you didn't have to be perfect, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
So what did your eating, your fitness, your physique journey look like prior to counting macros? You can start with kind of, your bad habits when you were younger, and then lead into where you're at now.
Yeah, absolutely. So looking back, I think I sent this I wrote all these notes out for you. Today is my mom's 70th birthday. So we actually, you can probably hear my children running upstairs and playing with them. But so thinking about this, 1972, my mom started Weight Watchers. So that is something, when I look way back to when I was little, I would go to the meetings with her and sit there. And so I didn't know at the time, but I was kind of immersed in Weight Watchers and followed it in some capacity because my mom was doing it, right? So thinking back to that is like my mom, was a role model with her Weight Watchers. So I try to be mindful of, like, what am I teaching my boys about working out and their nutrition, even though they're tiny. It's like I'm always mindful of, like, how I want them to perceive. Like, I'll say, oh, mom is getting healthy, mom is getting strong. I don't want them to think like, oh, I need to be skinny, I need to be. So I'm aware, even though they're boys. Boys have body image issues, right? So I look back, I guess, to when I was little and I was in the Weight Watcher culture. And then when I got a little bit older, this friend did that, or he's like, oh, I'll try. Like, even the cabbage soup diet, I remember doing that in high school, which I look back, I'm like, what was I thinking? But keto, low carb, low fat, intermittent fasting. I kind of was just up and down through, when I was little, elementary school. I said also in my notes, I have a big family, and we get together. We have picnics and coffee breaks and parties, and we ate to celebrate, to cope, to just to hang out and visit. So I think my grandmother just really pushed that eating is taking care of us, and the more we eat, the happier we'll be. So I think I just found comfort in eating when I was happy, sad, bored. And I was actually just talking to my cousin Kara before this call, and I said, looking back at our pictures when we were little, you hate to say it, but like I get so embarrassed of certain pictures, and I don't want it to be that way, but I just there are some pictures that I definitely have hidden or even thrown away because it's just embarrassing almost. And you didn't even know it, and I didn't know. And when I say big, I didn't know I was big until I knew I was big, and some of my friends were just very thin. And I just thought that's the way we are. Like that's the way I am. I can't change that. And it wasn't until I got into like middle school, high school, I started lifting with my brother and my cousins and getting into sports where, I would thin out, but still the nutrition wasn't, looking back, where it should have been. And, even through college, I would kind of do Weight Watchers and do other things, and that cafeteria food and going to parties, and I gained 15, 20, probably more. I look back at my pictures from college, and it's like, oh my gosh, it's just embarrassing to think like I wasn't taking care of myself, but I didn't really know how.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. So it started from a young age. I mean, I feel like our stories are pretty similar. Going to the Weight Watchers meetings, with your mom, where there were 0 point foods and you had to step on the scale. Then after you stepped on the scale, you went to Dairy Queen and celebrated and got like, whatever, maybe whatever your thing was. And then same thing with my cousins, right? We're still close when we see each other. Looking back on the pictures, we were not doing what we were supposed to do for our nutrition.
Yeah.
Same thing. And then just the coping. So many people can relate to that, to celebrate. So emotionally, I'm bored, all of the things.
Yeah.
So sounds like you tried Weight Watchers and cabbage soup diets. Was there anything else that you tried that kind of sticks out?
There was a book called Game On. Have you ever heard of that?
Yeah, I have.
So I did Game On with some friends, and we, kept points of, that was a while ago, but you kept points of how many calories you ate or how active you were. And then the team with the most points won or lost. I can't remember that. But I do remember doing keto before my wedding. And I also remember, this is so like, I didn't want to like gain water weight. So I remember like not really drinking a ton of water because I thought, oh, that would make me, which dehydrated me and made me like dry. Like, my skin was dry. But yeah, I just, I'm trying to think what I think like rice. I remember a rice diet, like rice and chicken for a lot of my meals. But I think you name it, and I've tried it. I did the hydroxy cut. I remember Slim Fast for short. I did not like Slim Fast. It was very limiting. I think Kelly, your other live, I remember her saying that, like, how do you sustain on a shake for breakfast and lunch? So
because you had a sensible dinner.
Yeah.
It was a shake for breakfast, a shake for lunch, and then a sensible dinner. I think that's what their motto is.
Right. Yeah. I do remember, so getting through high school, like I said, I was up and down, and getting in college, even I did intramurals or I'd work out. But then I remember starting doing marathons with my brother and Emily. And so like the cardio queen, and we would train. We did 4 marathons, I remember. And I'm like, why aren't I losing weight? Like I'm running all these miles and I'm still fluffy and chubby. But I'm like, well, I'm a runner. I'm doing it. And again, it's just that I didn't know how to fuel my body properly. And it was after my first son, I did have a friend that introduced me to macro counting and lifting. Her name is Kristen as well. And I remember getting into that, and I had a coach that set my macros, but I feel like it was kind of, she set them and you kind of checked in, and it was, I lost and I kind of got started on it, but I didn't have the support. I was kind of going at it on my own a little bit. And so that was effective, but I didn't feel like the support I have now with our clubhouse group, you know, with posts and questions and check-ins. And I started lifting a little bit more. And then I had my second son is when Emily, I knew Emily had, you know, lost weight. And I'm like, what are you doing? And she said, oh, I did this thing called the shred. And, you know, she lost 20 some pounds. And I was like, oh my gosh, I need this woman's number. And so we had talked about it. And finally, I'm like, okay, I need Kelly's number. And so it'll be a year in March that I've worked with you, which seems like yesterday, but so fast too.
Right.
So I guess just, so in a nutshell, it's like I have worked with other coaches and other people, but I have not seen the results I've seen with you. And I'm not just saying that. Like I'm at a place like I've never, and I know it's not about the number or the weight, but I'm at a place where this is the lowest I've been, I feel like, in my adult life, where I've, you know, been aware. My clothes feel great. I have energy to chase after my boys, and it doesn't feel restrictive because you plan, you prepare, and you set yourself up for success to be able to enjoy going out or parties. And I will say, when I first started with other coaches, it would be all or nothing, or, you know, oh gosh, I went over, so I'm just going to really do it up and finish this thing of cake or ice cream and keep going. Where now I've really kind of changed my mindset and perspective of, like, you know, make your next choice your healthy choice. You know, something is better than nothing. It's just really shifted my mindset to the way I look at food and movement, and you know, how I feel about myself.
Right, right. So you definitely changed your mindset. You're now able to stop the spiral. If you feel like you screwed up, you just make your next decision align with your goals. And it just basically you saw Emily's results.
Yes. Yes, absolutely.
And
Yes.
yeah, you trusted her.
Mm-hmm.
So then in turn trusted me. And the biggest part is the accountability, especially in the beginning. Like, you need that support, you need that accountability, because 10 days in, it's called quitting day.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if anybody knows that, but it's like day 10, people want to be done. So good. All right. So you told us some of your non-scale victories, but tell us about how much you've lost, how many inches, and share any non-scale victories you want to.
So I'm not perfect, and that's okay, because what do we say? It's what do you say? Tell me, is it like progress over perfection, or you say something? Okay, is it that?
Consistency, not perfection. Yeah.
So
both of those.
the scale fluctuates or things fluctuate, but that is normal because we are not robots, right?
Yeah.
So I'm
Oh,
trying.
perfection is prison. When I say perfection is prison. Yeah.
Perfection is prison. Because when you try to be, and there's been times even I've taken breaks from tracking because I felt like I was getting into that. Like, I'm not perfect, I'm going to fail. So I really had to teach myself that I don't have to do this the rest of my life, but I can do little check-ins or cuts or shreds here and there to get, just to stay accountable. But I'm finding that some of the non-scale victories are my clothes fitting better and more energy, feeling more confident, feeling happy to go shopping, right? Instead of getting shoes and earrings, right? You can get other things. But yeah, just trying on those jeans and zipping them up. It's just like, and my son, Harrison, like, I mean, he doesn't get it, but he'll be like, Mom, you're beautiful. And it's just like melts your heart.
Yeah.
I mean, my husband tells him to say those things, but it just melts your heart. And I appreciate it.
Right.
So, but I think just giving yourself grace when you start, And I still have days I struggle. And I think it is going to be a lifelong process, but it doesn't have to be where before it was, oh, what do I want to say? Like before I felt like it was never ending. Now I feel there's a positive outlook to it where it's like I can get back on track and it'll be okay.
Yeah, right. Right, exactly. I think a lot of people think, oh, I'm going to have to track food forever and I'm going to have
Mm-hmm.
to, and it's not that way. I always say the tracking is the training wheels. You have to educate yourself
Yeah.
first. Give yourself some grace.
Yeah. And there are times when I try, this is like funny, like people are like, I don't have time to do it. Well, you do. It's just kind of what you make, right? What time you make for what you need, what's your priority. And that's a realization too. It's like sometimes when you're tired, I'm tired at 5 a.m., I'm tired at 5 p.m. So which one do you want to pick to do your workout or your walk?
Mm-hmm.
So you just have to kind of, that's your goal. You have to just pick a time because you're going to be tired. It's going to be hard, you know?
Right.
But I will say, I regret not, okay, so I don't know if I've ever told you this. I did not do my measurements to start. So I don't know. So if you are starting, do your measurements, take your pictures. I have lost about 25 pounds and I did do pictures, but I'm like, I didn't believe in myself enough to do measurements to think I could compare them to anything. So that is one thing. If I could go back, I would go back and do my measurements so I had something to compare because it's significant.
Oh, yeah.
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 So
I know. It's hard to take those pictures, hard to take the measurements. And like you said, it was a mindset block.
mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, because when you don't feel your best self, who wants to do pictures and measurements and but I do put my pictures, I have like 1,000 before pictures in my hidden folder so no one can find them. But yeah, so definitely measure your measurements, weigh pictures, is
All the
super
documents.
important.
All the
Yeah.
documents. Yes, you will miss out if you don't.
Right.
So what is one takeaway that anyone listening should absorb that are on the fence and maybe they're thinking about joining the shred, but they're not quite sure? What would you tell them?
I have several, but my biggest thing is just do it, whether it is, like I said, time, money, invest in yourself, invest in your health. This will give you the tools and opportunities to get where you want to be. And like you have Kelly as a coach and you have the clubmates as people cheering you on. And so that's my biggest one. Like just do it because you'll thank yourself. And I think planning, preparing, like pre-tracking, making a grocery list, making a menu for the week. I love to do that. It helps our family, like no one saying, what's for dinner tonight? We just know, Mexican Monday, steaks on Tuesday, chicken on Wednesday, salmon. Like we just really have a process where I stick to the same type of breakfast foods, similar lunch foods, keeping it simple. And then if we want to do a pizza night, sometimes I will, if my numbers line up, I'll have pizza with the family, or I'll make my own pizza, my flatbread pizza. So you can be a part of everything. It just depends how involved you want to be, right?
Right. Yeah. So number one, it totally does. So number one, just do it.
Yeah.
You invest in yourself.
Mm-hmm.
And number two, you're not going to miss out on any events or any types of food, and just keep it simple with a plan and pre-tracking. And you said it all right there. So perhaps you can relate to her story. Give her some love. Give her a muscle emoji in the comments if you found her story relatable. Let us know. If you are self-sabotaging every weekend, hello, it's Sunday. Maybe some of you did it this weekend. Come join us in the shred. If you want that belly fat and that fluff gone once and for all, it's sustainable. So a little bit about the shred. It's 8 weeks. It goes until March 20th, so it starts on Thursday, January 23rd, so that you can snap that after photo, maybe around Easter time or spring vacation, or maybe you have that graduation or that wedding that you want to feel confident at. So the shred includes custom macros with option for weekend macros. There's so many of my clients that love that. Jess, Trisha, Stacy, they just want more freedom and flexibility on Friday and Saturday to enjoy wine or ice cream with their kids. There are 30-minute virtual workouts. Now, you don't have to work out. A lot of people ask me that. Nutrition and weight loss is based on calorie deficit, but we go through the workouts. If you can't work out, then we talk about step counts. I think about Lisa. She lost 50 pounds by just counting her macros and walking. So don't feel like you have to, work out. Consistency calendar, we use that. This is the biggest struggle that I see, staying consistent. Easy to track items in the My Macros Plus app. Weekly live coaching calls recorded for replay. Weekly weigh-ins, check-ins. There's a no-fail policy. I send you a message and I won't let you ignore me. Simple grocery list. You just print it off and take it to the store. Easy, family-friendly ideas, family meal ideas. I do give a sample weekly meal plan. So this takes the thinking out of what do I make? You have an accountability partner or buddy. Sometimes I feel like you'll let yourself down, but I know you won't let your buddy down. It's a private Facebook group with only us in it. The coaching is via instant messenger on Thursday, and I'm telling you, this holds the most value. You will have me in your back pocket for 8 weeks because I hear you. You're trying it all. Perhaps maybe you're thinking about the shot, or you tried Weight Watchers or keto or paleo. It just didn't work. So no fail policy. Plus it's fun, right? We have events and games and challenges and swag, and the $500 winner, right? So grand prize winner. It's not based on the most pounds lost. I have to see that you have had transformation. This is what's a little bit different about me. You have to have that mental transformation as well. So if I see you dieting, you're not going to win. Like, I want it to be like the full, mind and body transformation. So thank you, Kristen. You're the best role model for your family. For us, you're an inspiration. You have shown us that you can eat what you want to. This is a lifestyle. I've seen your confidence skyrocket from that very first day, and you're comfortable in your own skin. So thank you so much for sharing your story.
Thank you. I hope I was helpful to at least one person.
Oh my gosh, that's why we did this, right?
Yeah.
Yes. All right. Well, have a good night. Tell Mom we said happy 70th.
I will.
I hope you enjoyed some cake.
I did. So.
All right. Good night.
Bye.
Bye-bye.